Good morning, it is day 140 and we are on our way for an epic sightseeing day, aren't we?
Okay, let's do this quickly. Let's step out the road.
We're being a bit daring, walking on the road. But yeah, we are going to be exploring Ho Chi Minh City, some other sites that we didn't see yesterday, and lots happening. And the sun is hiding behind a cloud, which is nice. There's no rain, and this is our last day here in Ho Chi Minh. And I still haven't. I do like their tannoys that come out of their bikes. And yeah, so haven't booked anything for tomorrow. We don't know where we're going yet. I think going up north, maybe an 8-hour train journey. But yeah, I'll book that today, leaving it last minute.
So I am decked out in all new garb. I have my fingers up to the capitalist with my fake Ralph Lauren, and I am flying the flag for Katsa Shika at Kotsai. There we go. That's all I have to say, really.
Uniqlo. Look at him being all fresh. So fresh and so clean. All right, come explore with us. How are we going to cross this road? No lights, no pedestrian green man, and lots of traffic. All right, hold on. Let's see. Tim's been going. Should we go now? After this one.
Start walking. Go.
We made it, and now we need to find a pavement. Okay, let's go that way. We're now just walking in the middle of the road.
So we have old
and new.
Yeah, changing skyline.
Let's get on the pavement. It's a busy Monday morning, all the commuters on their way to work, and the hustle and bustle is real. And I'm feeling a few little drops, but it's alright. So we are on search for a statue or a monument. Tim, I think. That black cloud works quick. We can't find the statue, and it's starting to rain. The rain is coming down fast, and all the cyclists are stopping to put their ponchos on. They know it's going to be a heavy one. We have decided to stop and take shelter at this bank. Hopefully it's okay. The guard didn't seem to be too bothered, so we're going to stand here for a little bit. It's raining, it's pouring. Yeah, that came on quick. The skies went dark, the rain started coming down heavy. Hopefully it stops. The rain is coming down heavy, and the lovely security guys over there have given us some stools to sit on. I mean, I did sit on here, and he was like, no. So yeah.
How long is this rain going to last? It has increased in intensity. I don't know, can it last much longer?
Don't know.
In the UK, this would last for a few minutes, and then it would have lost all its enthusiasm.
But yeah, here it can go on for hours.
The ponchos must work really well though. They've all got them, and they're on bikes. The rains have decided to chill for a moment. For how long, I don't know, but it's still blustery, and I reckon I could lose this hat if I'm not careful. The peak is exceptionally large. Yeah, I think you can probably tell it's a knockoff quite easily, but I'm not going to complain, and I'm going to have to keep my eyes to the ground because there are loads of puddles in the cracked pavements and by the side of the road, so there are dangers below foot and for that lateral attacks from not so considerate cyclists. So far we've been okay. Sarah's still under the umbrella.
Windy.
Oh look, there's loads of ice on the floor. That's so random. Anyway, Sarah is too busy concentrating and we're on our way to go and find the park and then onto the War Remnants Museum, and I'm not sure what we're going to find there. Well, I kind of know what we're going to find there, like loads of exhibits and things like that, but I'm not sure how it will be emotionally. I don't know masses and masses about the Vietnam War. Generally in the UK we learn about World War II, the Napoleonic Wars, and ones that perhaps we were more directly associated with, but I know it was a horror of the 21st century for sure, so I am bracing myself a little bit, to be honest. There we go, the sun is coming out, and like that, everything changes. So I guess all these scooter riders are going to be taking off their ponchos in a second.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, because the weather changes like this, literally, you put your poncho on as a scooterist, and next minute, you're baking hot underneath it, and then you take it off. Whew. And we're crossing. Tim's protecting you. Like there's literally...
Okay, so if you wait long enough, there do seem to be natural breaks that I imagine are caused from the traffic lights. So yeah, we've not had to wait for more than a minute before there's a big gap. So there, that hand could have grabbed that camera easily.
I know. Right. And sometimes you have to just start walking. Not now. So yeah, because it's not like in the UK where they have to stop. Here, there's no stopping. You just need to be very careful. Yeah. All right. I think the park is here on our right. I don't know where the entrance is. And it looks like there's something going on. Oh, there's like a whole stage with seats and everything. Alright, let's find the entrance. What delights does she have in her basket?
And from the madness of the street, through the green iron fencing, into the park. Kind of hidden away a little bit from the road, but perhaps that's to make it a little bit quieter. And when we walk just a few meters in, the sound dissipates and the greenery arrives. Look at that, I do like the shaping that's been going on and the block planting they kind of employ here. And let's see how this opens up. Getting really wet in the Crocs again.
I was literally saying, I was like, oh, it's so busy out there, and then literally you turn a corner and it's like...
Peace and quiet, isn't it? Okay, it looks like there are going to be some interesting statues and monuments in here, I reckon. Yeah, walking around you can definitely feel the Soviet influence in the buildings, the sculptures, the art and the architecture. So what's going on over here?
We did go past a theatre, it was an open air theatre, and we are now in Tao Dang Park to explore, and there's a lot of shade, so that's good.
Okay, but before we do that, Sarah, I'm going to remind you of the rules and regulations of the park. So no walking on grass, Sarah, come here, and no picking flowers, no street vendors, no sitting on ledges, no dogs, I like that one, no sleeping, no showering, no littering, no drugs and alcohol, no swimming, I'm not sure where you'd do that, or shooting guns and fishing, motorcycles, kicking stuff, destroying stuff, graphs, skating, and yeah, I don't know what that is, drawing smiley faces, unhappy faces. But you are allowed to play on the equipment. There we go. Have you got that all?
All noted.
Okay. I know you're going to run onto that grass straight away. The trees are tall here, I would say 20 to 30 meters, and they're all numbered. It's okay, they're keeping an eye on things, making sure they don't lose one. Perhaps that is the socialist way, to stay on top of your records, record and administer, well, absolutely everything. And what park would be complete without a little pagoda / pavilion where you could have maybe a little brass band playing on a Sunday afternoon, perhaps if you're in Woking Park. Now, if you're in Woking Park, everything would be smashed up. It's a good spot to hide from the rain, though, isn't it?
I think someone was just doing yoga a second ago.
Okay, were they?
We got some ladies doing some running.
Okay, keeping fit. And a cool little water feature.
That's cool.
I think you'd struggle to swim in that, though. Okay, and what have we got here? A temple. So it looks like perhaps a Chinese temple, doesn't it?
Let's see if I can find the name. The Temple of the Hong Kings. Let's check it out.
Google Translate to the rescue, as much as you trust Google Translate, and yeah, I do. I'm going to have to anyway. And it did confuse me for a minute because this is a memorial area for heroic kings, but it said those kings were Hungarian, and I was like, that's a bit odd. Why would they be memorialising Hungarian kings here? And why would there be a lineage in Vietnam, which it also alluded to? But it is Hungarian. It was my poor reading. So yeah, the Hungarian kings and their roots and their dynasty, and this is their temple.
Yeah, later.
What's that hiding in the bushes over there?
Little cats. Cats? That we looking at? Peeking out. Meow. Kind of has that Indonesian vibe.
I was going to say as well, it does. But again, is that Hindu? It's beautifully planted up around it.
Yeah.
Oh, and a butterfly flies past. Oh, lots of them around here.
Dragonflies and butterflies.
I'm going to say dragonflies are also a symbol of good luck.
It doesn't say what it is, but it's very pretty. We've got some of these in our house.
Yeah, hundreds of butterflies. And the dragonflies are taken to the skies. So I think, oh, a big rat just ran by. Did you see that, Sarah? Oh, she don't want to know about that. But anyway, I am going to say that perhaps this is a Buddhist monument. I know that 15% of the people here in Vietnam, they identify as being Buddhist. 75% identify as having no religion or a folk religion. I think 8.5% is Christian, but we've seen lots of places of worship on our travels through, so they're obviously not actively discouraging it. Sometimes religion and socialism back in the day wasn't so common.
There
everywhere. It's planted up with these block borders. It's really cool. And look, I have one of these, and I called him Bob. Do you know why I call him Bob? You know.
Yeah.
So I've got one called Bob after Marley, and this one is Sideshow. Sideshow Bob. Little Simpsons reference. Coffee is doing well. It's everywhere.
I can smell barbecue. Smells good. Oh, where are we going? It's a busy section here. Oh, mind up.
We have a safe shop.
Everyone's using these pavements. Oh look, safes. There you go. That what you were talking about? Ah.
Are they the same?
This is the
Competition.
This is the safe region. And the busy pavement region.
Yeah, that was. Everyone was looking to get safe. And I think we have arrived at the former building of the United States Information Agency. It was repurposed as the Museum for War Remnants.
My brother and his sons would love this place. And my brother used to fly a fast jet. And actually, this kind of reminds me of the Tiger Moths that he flies now. And I've flown for about 10 minutes. But yeah, really cool. And the entrance to this place is only 40,000, which is just over £1. So yeah, let's have a look around.
Yeah, well worth it. Look at these. A few fast jets. This was the site of the United States Information Agency, perhaps a propaganda agency that the North Vietnamese repurposed and has housed the War Remnants Museum. It was initially called the Exhibition House for US and Puppet Crimes, and then later it was named Exhibition House for War Crimes and Aggression, and as relations began to thaw in 1995, it takes its current name as the War Remnants Museum. And yeah, they have a lot of, I guess, yeah, machines that were used to do terrible things. I'm kind of not sure how I'm going to feel looking through this museum, if I'm honest. So yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I guess I can appreciate the machinery for the engineering and the aesthetics, but also it's coupled with war, which is the most terrible of things. So yeah, I don't know how the war is really viewed here in Vietnam. Obviously not in a positive light. It seemed like one that was pretty frivolous. I mean, they all are, aren't they? I'm anti-war on all accounts, to be honest. I think you've got to try and talk your way through these things and come to compromises, but yes, we don't seem to be able to do that even now. We kind of repeat the same mistakes of the past. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and I am looking forward to it, but yeah, we will see what I feel by the end of it. So you can see when the war stopped in 1975, there was still a long period where they had to deal with landmines and toxic chemicals, Agent Orange, which was spread indiscriminately over the forests and cities. Yeah, it's terrible what was done. It was terrible. I have found some solitude in the COVID gallery here at the War Remnants Museum, and it's because it's empty, and I wanted to have a little reflect on my trip here. And yeah, I've just been to see the War Crimes exhibition and the Agent Orange exhibition, and it's harrowing stuff, it really is. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. There are so many stories and pictures recounting the war crimes and the horrors of the Vietnam War. It's kind of hard to put into words what I think really at the minute. It's not one for the faint-hearted, and I guess speaking empathetically, putting yourself into the positions of the victims of what it sounded like, indiscriminate mass killings, the using of banned weapons, phosphorus bombs, Agent Orange, cluster munitions, napalm, that indiscriminately wiped out whole villages, and the recounting tales of the soldiers admitting to the crimes that they had perpetrated upon the Vietnamese. It's yeah, it's truly horrific. It really is. So yeah. So a sombre display of death, and that is the tone for the entire museum. I'm afraid it is not for the faint-hearted, and yeah, we do like to name our creations of destruction, weapons of mass destructions, which this surely is. It's a seismic bomb, all blue, and it will completely level an 100-metre radius and do serious damage to 3.2 kilometres. And it's clearly an indiscriminate weapon that's just dropped, and it just destroys everything. It's harrowing. This whole museum is not for the faint-hearted, and yeah, it's given me a lot to think about, and I can't believe it went on for over 17 years, and just the after effects of it. 17 years of actual fighting, and then the Agent Orange, which it's in the genes. It's deforming people and the minds that have to be cleared, and yeah, it's just the beginning of the story when the war finished, I think. The money that was spent, the lives that were lost, and for what. I don't know how the Vietnamese view it. There did seem to be a reconciliation gallery, and obviously relations have been normalised, but that's got to be etched in the psyche of the Vietnamese people, definitely the older generations, because it was only 1975, so it finished a few years before I was born. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it was not like, it shocked me the amount of pictures of just destruction, suffering, death.
A picture paints 1,000 words, and some of those images will be etched in my memory.
Yeah, no, I was quite shocked on how horrific and graphic they were. Yeah, it was sad. Like, there was a moment I was feeling quite teary. Yeah, it just doesn't.
It's like that for a reason.
Yeah.
It's like that to make you realise what war is like.
Yeah.
Why here?
Yeah.
My name is
We.
I am accident the landmine after the war. In 1977, 8 years on the landmine.
That's crazy. An immediate reminder of the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and yeah, how bad do I feel for Wee. Looks like, yeah, he lost both arms and an eye, a landmine just there left, and he must have been a child when that happened. Yeah, it's terrible. It is truly, truly terrible. So yeah, I wish him the best, and yeah, what a hard life. What a hard life.